This is not the type of video that I would normally make on this channel. I don't spend a whole lot of time talking about injuries because I think that there's so little you can really tell about them. There's the fact that football is a very contact-oriented sport, so there's always going to be injuries. But it seems that time and again, the Kansas City Chiefs sort of have early season injuries or early season suspensions pop up that seem to be dooming, seem to be absolutely catastrophic in the near term, but end up being something that is on some level beneficial outside of that. So Justin Reid missed time this training camp. He missed golly, guys, I think he might have just missed day 2. He might have been active for day 1, and then he is out again today. And it was an apparent injury, an apparent quad injury that has kept him sidelined. But rumblings started to surface yesterday that Reid's injury may be more serious than initially suspected, and we even got a quote from Steve Spagnuolo that we won't have Justin for a little bit here. Now, speculation in the wake of that comment from Steve Spagnuolo is that Justin Reid is going to miss all of the preseason and might miss some of the early season with that quad injury. He has been given the dreaded designation of day-to-day. If anyone remembers that from the Sammy Watkins era, you know exactly what I am talking about there. But again, assuming Reid's ultimate return, an injury such as this could be a blessing in disguise. We've talked several times on the channel about how this is Justin Reid's final season under contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. It is a big contract, big numbers for Justin Reid, and though he has come on and been a meaningful contributor, probably the Kansas City Chiefs would love to not have to pay that guy again, Justin Reid again, not because of anything he has or has not done egregiously, but because they're getting into penny pinching mode basically everywhere. I am afraid that what might happen is Patrick Mahomes is currently like middle of the league as far as pay is concerned, and there are a couple big names, Dak Prescott, Tua Tagovailoa, who are due to be free agents this season, and I think are likely someone's going to reset the market with them. I don't know why. I would not trust those two quarterbacks with my franchise, certainly not with market resetting numbers, but someone's going to do it. I fully believe someone is going to do it. And it might be that the Patrick Mahomes contract ends up getting reset at some point in time. So there's going to need to be a little bit more leeway under the cap if the Kansas City Chiefs want to keep winning. Now, one thing to remember, way back when, Nick Bolton's rookie year, Willie Gay went on the IR in the preseason, and Nick Bolton was forced to start. Now, while he did not play all of the snaps, all of the games that season, he never really looked back. He forced his way back onto the field once Willie Gay had returned from injury, and he played 45 snaps that first week, did Nick Bolton, and ended up with 624 snaps during his rookie season. And we all know that he played 98% of the Kansas City Chiefs defensive snaps in his sophomore campaign in the NFL. Just an absolutely wild number. Racked up the stats, racked up the tackles, was everywhere on the defense. And it was because Willie Gay had that preseason injury, it became a bit of a blessing in disguise, especially because Nick Bolton was a guy that, at that point, it would have been difficult to justify putting him on the field because he didn't have great testing numbers. You had starters ahead of him. and he was not one of the guys that was there forever. So it was easy to maybe, if Willie Gay had not been injured, and again, absolutely love Willie Gay. Willie Gay was could have been maybe on the pantheon of Kansas City Chiefs linebackers under different circumstance. Had he played his entire career here, he definitely had the jaw-dropping plays that get you onto some type of pantheon. But were it not for that injury, Nick Bolton may have played exceedingly sparingly during his rookie season simply because the Kansas City Chiefs did not have a quote-unquote excuse in order to get him on the field. Now, why do I talk about this? Why make a video about this? Why mention this at all? Well, guys, those first two games of the season are the Ravens and the Bengals, which are probably the greatest threats to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC. So, under other circumstances, I don't think a guy like Jaden Hicks maybe sees the field in week 1 and week 2. I think that's understandable. Those are the big names. Those are the games you kind of want to have to win. And in that case, in that scenario, weeks 1 and 2 of the NFL season, why play the rookie, right? You have Justin Reid, you have Brian Cook. These are the guys that are likely to get the majority of the snaps. You have Chamarri Conner, who played meaningful snaps last season. Probably in that scenario, you don't put Jaden Hicks on the field very much in weeks 1 or 2. After that, if those positions have been held down by Justin Reid, been held down by Brian Cook, been held down by Chamarri Conner, you really need a quote-unquote excuse to get Jaden Hicks on the field for meaningful snaps. It is difficult to justify taking out your starters if all three are healthy. It's difficult to justify taking them off of the field for meaningful snaps in order to get the rookie on the field. After all, this is the NFL. There are only 17 games. You have to win every game that you can, which means this is the same reason we don't see Andy Reid really rotate through offensive linemen. Not just because it's Patrick Mahomes that you are protecting. Andy Reid didn't rotate offensive linemen prior to Patrick Mahomes being his quarterback. It's because you want your best players on the field as many plays as you can get them. It is rare that teams are afforded the opportunities that the Kansas City Chiefs have been afforded the past few seasons, where the last game of the season is meaningless, or there was a couple years ago, I believe it was a couple years ago, where the Kansas City Chiefs played the Denver Broncos, and backup players just kind of suspiciously got higher and higher snap counts than normally they would, and the Chiefs eked out a win. Yeah, that was in the Juju Smith-Schuster year. The Chiefs eked out a win against an obviously inferior Denver Broncos team that season because the Kansas City Chiefs kind of ran that game like a practice. They were going to rotate through as many players as possible in order to they were going to rotate through as many players as they could and still basically obviously win, right? Still basically not be in peril of losing. They were in peril of losing. It is very difficult to rotate through too many starters in the NFL, but they won the game anyway. If we see Jaden Hicks on the field week 1, week 2, even, here's the thing, even the extra reps that a guy like Jaden Hicks is going to get in the preseason, Justin Reid doesn't need those reps. Maybe he needs the conditioning, right? Because it's football and you don't remember how out of shape you are until you're trying to make a tackle in the fourth quarter and you can't breathe. But outside of the conditioning aspect of things, which you can get back fairly quickly, and a consummate pro like Justin Reid is going to be about as in game shape as you can be not playing games. But all of these extra reps that are going to go to someone like Jaden Hicks is going to further future-proof the Kansas City Chiefs and further future-proof what the Chiefs are doing. And we don't like to think of things in this way, but for example, you have further down the roster someone who Deon Bush. Deon Bush isn't a great example because he is a bit of an older player. He is a special teams ace, that type of thing. But you have a player further down, Echo Boydo. I know he's a cornerback. Just roll with me here, please. Echo Boydo ends up getting on the field at the nickel position because the safeties have rotated through. Echo Boydo is the next man up in the corner rotation. If Echo Boydo, I shouldn't have used Echo Boydo because I like Echo Boydo, but gets exposed. Turns out he's not an NFL player. You would not have had the opportunity to learn that, and I think he is an NFL player, but you would not have had the opportunity to learn that if not for Justin Reid being injured early in the season, Jaden Hicks rotating through all of those snaps, and then getting down on your roster to the Echo Boydos of the world. So this could be an opportunity for Jaden Hicks, and we have seen through training camp, through rookie training camp, Jaden Hicks is, in my opinion, in my estimation, Jaden Hicks is well ahead of the curve of where it is that the Kansas City Chiefs wanted or expected him to be as a rookie in the preseason, as a rookie in the first days of training camp and before training camp. So, yes, Justin Reid is injured. The other added benefit to this, we do not have to be in the position to rush Justin Reid back from injury. The Kansas City Chiefs are in the position with these players where they can say, hey, take your time. If we rush you back, you might get injured again. The Kansas City Chiefs do not have to rush Justin Reid back onto the field. Not having to do so means that he can properly heal. He can come back and be 100% whenever it is that he is 100%. And maybe by the time that is all through, the Kansas City Chiefs have a Jaden Hicks, a Chamarri Connor, a Brian Cook's ready to play, but a Jaden Hicks and a Chamarri Connor who are legitimate starter level players on the football field for the Kansas City Chiefs. So what I have on the field here is just a reminder of who exactly Jaden Hicks and Chamarri Connor are. Jaden Hicks comes in. So there's a weird thing with Jaden Hicks. Jaden Hicks has pro day numbers and Jaden Hicks has NFL combine numbers. He is either 6'2 and 3/8 or 6'1 and 7/8. So a little bit of a difference there, maybe not the biggest difference in the world, but it is odd to see that difference between legitimate sort of official heights. He is either 215 or 211, not that big of a difference, but a 4.49 40-yard dash puts him in the 73rd percentile of safeties. A 1.58 10-yard split for Jaden Hicks on that 40-yard dash. A 37.5-inch vertical, which is 75th percentile. A 10-foot, 2-inch broad jump is 58th percentile. And your 3-cone drill of 6.88 is 70th percentile. Your bench press reps of 16 is 42nd percentile. A little bit of an oddity there. I would have expected his 3-cone drill to be slower. I think I messed up the 3-cone drill for Chamarri Connor, but I would have expected his 3-cone drill to be slower than Chamarri Connor's, but his bench press to be higher. Instead, we have the exact opposite there, where Jaden Hicks's I messed everything up. 3-cone is faster, and he has a smaller bench press than the smaller Chamarri Connor. Chamarri Connor himself goes to the tune of 6 foot tall, 202 pounds. Yeah, I did mess up that 3-cone drill. 6 foot tall, 202 pounds, a 4.51 40-yard dash, a 1.56 10-yard split, a 40.5-inch vertical. That is an elite number. A 10-foot 5-inch broad jump, a 3-cone drill of what is actually 6.91, and 20 reps on the bench press. So looking at these guys, they are both. So Chamarri Connor's maybe a little undersized. Maybe. right? You have a lot of 6-foot-ish, 200-pound-ish safeties in the NFL. But if you're going to call Chamarri Conner undersized, it's very difficult to turn around and say that Jaden Hicks is a big safety, right? So there's sort of a fine line where safeties normally come in, but these guys are both. Chamarri Conner last season was really impressive to the coaching staff. We didn't get to see a whole lot of it on the field. Chamarri Conner did not get a whole lot of playing time for the Kansas City Chiefs last year, ending up with 36 tackles, 1 pass deflection, and 1 interception. But he got onto the field and he got an extensive taste of the pre-playoff action in that meaningless Week 18 game for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Jaden Hicks does not have, obviously, any NFL experience to this point, but he has been very impressive so far in the training camp battles, in the rookie training camp battles, and he seems to be pre-made as an NFL player. Now, one thing worth noting, last season during the playoffs, Chamarri Conner against Buffalo played 76 snaps. That's in the playoffs. He ended up playing 37 snaps against Miami, 76 snaps against the Bills. Against Baltimore, he hit 25 snaps, and then 24 snaps in the Super Bowl. This is notable because he played more later in the season, but he played more in the playoffs even than he did during the regular season, which talks to the Kansas City Chiefs coaching staff trust in him. So the Kansas City Chiefs love to deploy 3 safeties. It is going to be interesting to read into how the Kansas City Chiefs trust these players heading into Week 1 should Justin Reid find himself on the injury list. Brian Cook is obviously one of the starting safeties for the Kansas City Chiefs. Chamarri Conner is probably, at this point, number 2, simply because he does have the experience for the Chiefs on the field, in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl. But Jaden Hicks has proven himself this preseason as a big-time talent. That is all I have for this video. I just wanted to stop in and make a video talking about the contingency plan for Justin Reid and how this might be a blessing in disguise for all parties involved. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button helps, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Kansas City Chiefs are the only thing I talk about, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.